Howdy there guys, and welcome back. It is Eileo here with another account revisit this time. Not a review, this is a revisit. I've done him in the past, as in reviewed his account, not anything like that. If you're thinking like that, go ahead and hit yourself right there on the back of your head, because we don't do that here. But anyways, we have a revisit of Simon's account, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so first things first, you guys, let's go ahead and take a look at his gem quality, which is always very important, especially when it comes to these type of revisits, just to see what he's working with. He is level 50, so this is the stage, at least in my opinion, of your MSL career where things should be like clicking. You should have plenty of level 60 mons, or you're in the process of getting mons to level 60. Your gem quality isn't like excellent, but it's way better than being subpar. So let's take a go at this. So he has his wild thing over here. She has 2 attack gems so far and a crit rate gem, almost max crit rate. Yeah, we'll take that. No books on her, even though she's super evoed. Not a big deal right there. Let's take a go at Fire Draka. Attack gem, HP, attack. Not a super duper big fan of it, but if it works, it works, because if you have a siphon set up there, I would just do triple attack if possible. Let's see what else we can take a look at though. Whole bunch of just fodder over here. Water Shiva on a conviction set. Defense gem, okay, 26% resist. HP gem over here, and HP. Perfectly fine. You have some Lumos over here at level 50. What are you doing with some Lumos? Take a look at Artemis. HP, attack. She is at Evo too. I don't know, I guess I was assuming more there would be like HP defense attack. Not that it really matters at this point, but okay. I'll let it slide, man. I'll let it slide. So you have a level 50 water entrant in there. Obviously he didn't come from the hero dungeon because that just got put into the game today. Whole bunch of nat 3s. Oh, you have a Jormungandr. He's on a broken set. HP gem, defense gem. So you're building your sappers more defensively than offensively, and at least in terms of B10, I will say that my Evo 2, like wet Evo 2, he's just pure 2.0 Jormungandr. He's on a protection set, but he's running HP attack, and he survived just fine. So you could actually add some more attack to him if you actually use him, but if you don't use him, even though you have trinkets and gems on him, you can keep him how he is. Let's take a look at this baby girl over here. You have her on an HP set, but she has Stalker. Attack. Triple attack. So you're trying to give her some survivability while running her glassy, and she's super evoed. Dude, throw some trinkets on her, finish up her enhancements, and I would, if you can, just throw her on Ruin, dude. Because, well, actually she doesn't have a triangle slot. You can still throw her on Ruin with triple attack. I mean, there's a Hana there with no gems. There's no gemmed up Hanas at all? Let's take a look at your Eileo conviction set. Attack gem, okay, have some good resist up there. Defense gem, attack gem. Okay, that's perfectly acceptable. Level 50 Light Arthur, level 60 Light Nike. Wild thing without a triangle slot, boys. You hate to see it. You absolutely just hate to see it. But she has an attack gem up there. Attack. Okay. Triple attack. Okay. That's fine. You have to work with what you have here. Looks like you have a Dark Mandy as well. Dark Miho. Nothing extravagant. I would say so far your gem quality is fine, especially for being at level 50, and I do feel like if you continue farming golems, which is what we're going to take a look at next, that your gym quality should still be improving as we go on here, and hopefully you can do a little bit more tweaks to the mods that you have on your account, but they're by no means like horrible at all. So GG on that, my dude. Alright, taking a look at your B11 team, it looks like you're running 3 Sappers and then Fire Draka, which, very interesting. You said that your B run is decent, but there's maybe a 3% chance for it to fail, and you don't know if that's normal. Well, the reason being that it might fail is because you are running 3 Sappers. I haven't personally tested this out myself, so I will actually take the time and just test this out on your account right now, and I will give you guys the results right after this. Alright, so they just cleared it up in your best time, at least obviously on this emulator, because I literally just loaded up your account, was 1 minute and 47 seconds, and it's, for the most part, everything seems to be stable. I could definitely see where it could like fail at some point in time because of you running 3 Sappers, but I think your biggest issue is that Fire Draka number 1 has kind of a lagging startup, but once she starts up, she's able to clear the waves out as intended. But the problem is that within the first like 3 rounds, it takes that much for Fire Draka to get her attack up. So you could mitigate this by probably adding in just another attack gem to Fire Draka, which will make Draka more glassy. But if there's more damage combined with morale boost, that should hopefully boost it up to where it only takes maybe 2 turns to get things done. And if you're running with 2 Sappers, since you did have a Super Evo Water Sea Star, in my opinion, she did fairly well. The biggest gripe, or the biggest gear in your current system, though, I would say would probably end up being your Wood Jormungandr, just because his damage was very, very subpar at Evo 3, and this issue could just stem from him being built super duper tanky, because Artemis is at least on a Valor set, even though she only has 1 attack gem on her, but she still gets that additional attack, which she was out damaging Jormungandr, who also has morale boost on his 3-star skill, so that could be another issue right there. But surprisingly, C-Star did quite well, and I believe it's because of that Valor set, because if you take a look at her, she's very, very anemic in her stats, so the damage that she was dealing out was the most out of all of your Sappers, but Artemis is at Evo 2, and Jormungandr is built like a tank. Excuse me on that. But, yeah, she worked out the best, even though I could understand that if she gets hit, she's going to die in there. So my suggestion to you is that if you have like honestly, if you could throw in like a Wood Hohenheim, which is what you have right here, and maybe drop Jormungandr, I think you'll be pretty solid if you want to continue using your C-Star. Because, I mean, you could drop C-Star instead, but she seems to be working out for you just fine. So I would just either change up Jormungandr's gems, which might be the easiest for you, or go ahead and work on building Wood Hohenheim, because that resistance down means that both saps from your Artemis and your Water Sea Star is going to stick a lot more easier than running with 3 Sappers, even though sap does, you know, it does lower resistance by a little bit. But that's my suggestion in terms of your B11 team, my dude. Alright, next up, addressing your issue in terms of Colossus. It does look like you are able to hopefully do Wood Colossus. You just have to build up the correct mons for it, which you are sitting with 2 Wukongs and 3 Fire Shinobi, so he shouldn't really be a problem at all, because for Wood Colossus, just get these bad boys to 60, at least 1 of each, obviously. Try to build them as offensively as possible if you can, so if you can do crit rate attack, that's perfectly fine. If you can even squeeze out like crit damage attack, that's perfectly fine as well. But I would definitely walk up in there with these bad boys at Evo 2 with enhancements and trinkets, and once again level 60 at very, very minimum. And then you could also walk in there with a Fire Katyn, because of that lovely change to him where he has an exposed weakness. And then in terms of anyone else, I mean, you could bring whatever strongest mon that you have that is also a Sea Striker, but it doesn't look like there's anyone else really here, so You could pop in Fire Draka if you want to bring in your C-Star, whatever. Because honestly, you're going to be using Wukong on Wood Colossus for the defense down first. Then if he can get his active off, he'll get that Courageous Strike damage. And then the same thing with Shinobi here. His main selling point is just using his 3-star skill for the Courageous Strike. And it shouldn't be that bad at all, because hopefully you have a mon that can apply defense down. You have Exposed Weakness to help Shinobi get as much damage off as possible. And if you have another mon that can apply defense down, not Neza, but someone else, that's perfectly fine as well. So I think Wood Colossus at your level, just after you gemmed up these mons and get them settled, shouldn't be a problem at all for you, my dude. And then the other Colossus that I could definitely see you doing is, where is it at? You could also attempt to do Fire Colossus, which will be slower than Wood, unfortunately, but you do have 2 Water Gilgameshes, and I'm not saying that Gilgamesh is going to be the king, because this is going to be kind of like a slow crawl here. But what you could do is you could bring in 1 Water Gilgamesh, you could go ahead and bring in a Water Indra as well, and then just chip away at him with the Courageous Strike. So you could also slide in your Water Nike right there, so she can apply some defense down action to him. And then we also have Pandora with the Exposed Weakness. So similar setup. It's going to be a little bit slower though, because you're relying on both their actives to get the Courageous Strike damage off, which is unfortunate. But another way to circumvent that issue entirely is to go ahead and farm out a Water Sandwraith if you don't have one already, because you have one at Evo 1. But if you can farm him out, just bringing him in there with that Unflinching Strike is going to be way better than nothing. You could always run his lead as well, which is a critical damage lead, and then everyone else should hopefully do a little bit more damage. So that's my suggestion in terms of Colossus. You could also attempt Light and Dark Colossus, but your setup would probably be more like a Wukong, your Fire Shinobi. I'm not sure about Water Sandwraith in that instance, but you could also bring in Pandora, or aka Kira, and then anyone else that you can think of, preferably someone that hits similarly to a Courageous Striker. And I would love to have that on my 3-star skill versus 5-star skill, because if not, the match will go on for a while. And I know I simplified that, but that's pretty much where we're at this point in time. So I definitely think Colossus is possible for you. It's just a matter of getting those mons gemmed up and built up properly. In terms of your Titan teams though, it looks like you are working towards a Water Titans team, because you have the Mini-Cats, you have the Phibians, you have the Hanas, you have 2 Garudas, so your left lane is looking pretty spicy. The only problem is the right lane, which is a big fat rip at this point in time, so I can understand you holding off. But if you can get a Wood Merlin in the future, if you can get 2 Wood Merlins, if you can get 25 Wood Merlins in the future, you're going to be pretty much set. I mean, you do have Enkidu here, and you could run Zubaji as well, and maybe pick up Thors when they come back in the future. But I think you're, in terms of Water Titan team, at least in terms of healers and debuffers, is pretty pristine, my dude. We just need a couple of Courageous Strikers, and you're set on that. In terms of Fire Titan, though, yeah, we have no dedicated Sea Strikers at all. Gilgamesh is a debuffer. Indra is pretty much a debuffer with a little bit of Sea Striking capabilities on him, but we don't have a Wet Barona. We don't have a Harley. We don't even have an Evo 3 Sandwraith. So if you really want to like get your feet wet with Fire Titan, I would definitely implore you to pick up even more than 1 Sandwraiths, just to have slots that you can run in Titans to get some damage off of those. But we have 2 Shellys over here. There's 2 Katins. I don't see a Bell Pup, so definitely pick up a Bell Pup as well if you're interested in doing Fire Titans. And other than that, you're pretty much just missing your Sea Strikers. Maybe I'm missing maybe 1 more Mon, but yeah, the biggest issue is just the Courageous Strikers right there. And then in terms of a Wood Titan, you have 2 Wukongs, which is super great. 3 Fire Shinobis, once again great. You have Cupid and Katin. The only issues that I'm seeing so far though is so you have Shinobi. So left lane you could throw in a Wukong. You could maybe even throw in 2 Wukongs, but let's say Wukong on both your top and bottom left lane. You can throw in Katins there, though I'm not sure on the timing. You could pair up Cupid with Shinobi on both sides. There we go. What we're missing here is you could definitely go ahead and slide in a Fire Yuki if you have one for part of your left lane, and I don't see any Fire Curas at all either. I would much prefer Fire Cura over Fire Cupid, at least in my opinion. There's no pixies either, so there's really no defense up. So yeah, it could use a little bit of work, but you definitely have the courageous strikers available to bring this hopefully to the next level. But other than that, you could always pick up a Fire Stand Wraith and just use him on the top front lane in terms of your DPS, just so you can get by. But I'll just add in the video just like a little bar of what you could do in terms of your Titan's composition for Wood Titan, my dude. But other than that, I'm taking a look at Discord right now. I think everything is pretty much set in stone for your account. You do have a wave clearer. You're able to do all of the content. You should be breaking into Colossus here probably after this video. Titan teams could use a little bit of work, but your gym quality is fine. I would just work on making sure you're maximizing your damage and then also speed in B11. And then other than that, I would just say continue farming. Make sure you enhance the mons that you use the most on the daily, and especially those in Titans, and then addressing your gold and Astro Gem issue, where gold will come naturally from doing golems, but Astro Gems, the best way to save Astro Gems is just don't use them at all if you can, because we do get the 2 free ads every day for additional energy. There's also you just naturally placing higher in Titans in PvP, even though I know we didn't cover PvP, but it's just you placing higher in those, and I think you focusing on your Titans team is going to be a great way for you to get higher a higher rating in Titans, to get more gems out to save up, and make sure you're participating in like the challengers PvP that's out right now, because that's another easy way to earn additional gems even if you don't place that high. And the main selling point though is you don't even have to farm story to farm out Astro Gems. Just make sure you're sliming for that 1k every week. Watch the ads every day for the Astro Gems. I always do like the little lottery thing over here. If you go to your clan, like I play this every single time just because I have like 13,000 points, but we're not going to talk about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of Astro Gems. I mean, it's going to come slowly, so that's why I kind of like skip festivals here and there, because I know if I pull for one that I can't pull for the other, or if I do pull for both, I'm probably going to be sitting it out for the next 3 months. So yeah, just conserve your Astro Gems as much as possible. If you run out of energy, just run out and come back later. But yep, that's pretty much it, Simon. Keep up the great work on your account. Things are definitely getting a lot better than what they were before, and you're just on the edge, man. You're just on the edge of greatness. I wouldn't say that top tier or anything like that, but you're going from like noob cake kid to like okay, you know what, Simon, we want you, man. We want you. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to leave any constructive comments in the comment section below, because interesting discussions are always what your boy is about. And I'll see you guys in the next one.